We are gathered here today for one of the world's most sacred sacraments, in my mind, Cuban coffee, or cafecito. Cafecito is stronger than regular coffee and is very similar to espresso. It's traditionally served already sweetened, however, rather than adding it yourself. If you're fortunate enough to live somewhere where you can get it at a bakery with some croquetas or tostadas, more power to you. I, however, do not live in Miami anymore, so I'll unfortunately be carrying the cultural torch myself while I cry into my more readily available Maria cookies and guava paste. Part of the appeal with Cuban coffee, however, is that it tastes just as good, if not better, when made at home, and I'm going to show you how. It's typically made in a moka pot, or a cafetera, as it's called in Spanish. The main difference between one of these and a traditional espresso machine is that it doesn't generate as much pressure. This makes it, for one, a whole lot cheaper, but unfortunately limited in the fact that it doesn't produce much crema, that little foam you'll see on a high-quality espresso. Enter our workaround: sugar. The basic concept of Cuban coffee involves whipping a whole lot of sugar with a tiny bit of espresso to make that foam, or espuma in Spanish. So to prep our cafetera, we'll add hot water just up to this little pressure release valve. Keep in mind that the hotter your water, the shorter the amount of time that your coffee will be exposed to the heat. This means you run less of a risk of burning your coffee and turning it overly bitter, but the part of me that misses New Jersey diners still gets strangely nostalgic about burnt coffee. But assuming you're a normal individual, your mileage may vary. Once your water is in, give it a little test. Make sure you don't undershoot it so that you can get every last drop of coffee you can. Tap it, and if you get a couple splashes back like this, without it totally flooding the filter, you're good to go. After that, load that filter up with espresso ground coffee. And I mean it, stuff that thing full, and when you finally think you're done, Tetris some more on top. These coffee grinds should be nicely heaping. Leave this mound be though, rather than tamping it down, because you still want it loosely packed. Personally, when it comes to coffee, I'm partial to the classic Café Bustelo. There are other brands like La Llave and Pilon. I just might judge you a little. Either way, this is all set, so screw the lid on, throw it on high heat, and wait. In the meantime, start preparing your sugar. This standard size cafetera makes 6 servings, so I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons to this mug, but you can add more or less to taste. Keep the lid up on your cafetera though, because once those first few drops of coffee come through, that's what you need to add. Take your coffee off the heat, little by little adding coffee into your sugar and whipping it with a spoon until you've reached the right consistency. What you're looking for is something a little thinner than a Wendy's Frosty, so maybe after it's sat in your hot car for some time. The color will lighten as I keep whipping, and once you've got that right color and viscosity, put the cafetera back on the heat, close the lid if you don't want to mess all over your stove, and let it finish brewing. You'll know it's done when you hear it slow down. Cut the heat and add your coffee back into your molten sugar. Slowly and gently stir this time as that sugar rises to the top, and take a second to marvel in the beauty of the foam you've just created. Nothing left to do now but gather your loved ones, portion out a few cups, and enjoy. Or throw it all into a mug that's just for you and enjoy seeing sounds for the rest of your overly caffeinated day. Certainly wouldn't be my first time, and that just about accurately describes the shooting of this video. Other than being a great way to mainline a healthy dose of caffeine directly into your veins, Cuban coffee is a deliciously approachable way to enter into the realm of espresso drinking. It's rich, it's robust, it's earthy, it's bitter, but it's also incredibly sweet. The sweetness tempers that bitterness. And while I normally drink my coffee black, you do still need some sugar to make that foam. That foam over the top makes your drink thicker. It gives it mouthfeel as opposed to being watery, so it really is necessary. But however you take it, whatever and whoever you have it with, make sure you savor it, because good cafecito is made with love.